was so smooth. He showed me. I'm not used to doing a lot of randori where the resistance is to just go with that and see that with place. The most resistance is actually the goal where my movement should be.
Right.
And it either relieves itself or I just fall.
Or you fall. And falling is not defeat.
Right.
Here's part of the psychology that I think is vitally important with this, is that you take uke out of being in the I'm losing business. Because as long as you're training in such a way that Tori is winning and uke is losing, you have this negative imprint about uke or ukimi, but it's your survival skills, guys. That is actually what's going to save your ass. We think, oh, I fell down and I survived the fall. That's a good survival skill, easy to understand. But it's the one that's going to save you when the assault's coming on. And you're in the middle of this rain of blows.
Control the recovery.
When the flurry is happening, yeah, that's the one that's going to be able to get you back into cool and being able to operate and not freak out and just freeze up and get beat to death. Because again, Tori's cool in a fight or in a duel. Beware, we will duel, you know. Okay, you really want to duel? Let me grab my pistol. Great. But it's not so good when the flurry is coming on you. When the blows are falling on your head, it's too late to do the cool. You got to get cool. And that comes out of ukimi. So ukimi is really not losing. And the more we divorce ourselves from that idea, the better. Cool? What else are you finding out?
A lot more openings for Satani.
Tsukimi waza gets in there. Every time you take a fall, it's a throw, isn't it? Yeah. We've explored that with J.W. Bodie and with our countering kata stuff we did the first year out in 2008, 2009. Where basically every time I throw Brian, if he just holds on to this and takes his fall, sorry, I'm just going to do Shomanatsu. Boom! Well, he didn't hold on to it. If he holds on to this and takes his fall, whoop. That's right. He transmits the energy of his fall back to me. If he's a little aggressive, he's not very aggressive. These guys, you're too nice to me. You're very nice, Brian.
Those angels over there.
Those angels say, hey, just hold on a little bit and throw me too. And say, oh, good, they love it. Because all you're falling is, well, why the hell not? You're falling anyway. You know? Well, the only why the hell not in the dojo is that it is tough ukimi sometimes, and people get a little tired of being slammed, but basically all the falls are throws as well. You just accept the off balance in the same line, not in some different line. Now, the other thing about resistance that gets in here is kind of interesting. If I'm playing with the Space Ghost here, and if you've trained with him yet, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to hit him in the face. And I'm trying to hit him in the face. And I'm trying to hit him in the face. And I'm trying to hit him in the face. And I'm trying to hit him in the face. I don't know how many blows I'm going to his face with. And he just floats around. And I can't ever get there from here. Because he's never a sitting target. He's never trying to block anything. And he can do the same to me. Hit me in the face, 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 hit me in the face. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I get tired of it after a while. But there's this fluid dynamic that you can enter into, and you don't care how much it's coming at you because you're just fluidly moving with it. The thing we get into with resistance, and some people like to train with resistance, is I get in here and I try to stop. You start to do something to me. And I get resistant. I set up isometric structure to stop him doing this to me. By definition, when I stop this, guess what I can't do? I can't stop his shot to my face. So if Brian decides to stop this, for instance, he's going to stop, put it together, stop it. Pop, pop. They become sitting ducks for anything you want to do in terms of not that. If I'm doing oshitoshi to him, or he's doing oshitoshi to me, and I'm stopping this, there's not a thing I can do if he just decides to snap it back out, or decides to hit me in the head, or decides to, oh, here, stop me. I'm stopping it. Good. They're standing still for you. When they go, can't do it to me, it's like big light goes off, free shot. Ding, 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 you hit the jackpot. You can now cuff them at will because they cannot get their arm reactive to it. As long as he's pushing on this elbow and my shoulder and arm process is just flowing with it. And he wants to start deciding to, I don't know, pop me in the head some other way. Yeah, it's good. I don't care. But the moment I stop this, and he decides, yeah, I don't like doing it too much. The rigidity, my own isometrics of trying to resist, gives him a suki, gives him an opening that I can't do much about. And so when we invest in uke, we invest in ukimi, we've got to be aware of that quality too. That we need this fluid dynamic. We need to actually try to deliver energy and affect the guy. He needs to recover in that same line and affect me back. But if I'm standing here trying to stop it or just resisting, hell, he can knee me in the groin if he likes. He can pop me right up the middle of my chin if he likes. Because the moment I rigidify and try to, what's my center doing? It's going down and it's contracting in. But it's no longer doing anything to him. Right? Even something kotegaishi, he's just twisting kotegaishi. And I'm not letting him have kotegaishi. Well, can I do much if he lets go with his inside hand and comes in my face? Not much. It's just going to contract in. I might be able to catch it. I don't know. See, I'm going to stop it. Now you got to try to do kotegaishi. I'm fighting that. Good. Oh. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So investing in isometric resistance, not the same as zucchini. In fact, it's not receiving energy. He's handing me energy, and I'm saying, no, I'm not going to take it. Please. I'd rather not have that energy thinking or that information thinking. I'm refusing to participate in the engagement, and that is counter-training. Because as long as you can do that, you're doing what? You're in a fight, but you're not in the survival thing. You can survive the fight with that. You can have a whole defensive game that says, he wants to fight me, I don't want to fight him, you go fight somebody over there. Enjoy. But we can't presume that we have that option. We have to presume that, again, you're sitting there at fingers eating your soup and the thing's in the middle of your head before you get to go. Where you're already compromised and you have to live with those sets of problems, right? So anyway, I'm talking too much again. Any more from what you guys have been picking up that you want to say? Yeah. I like it. You like it? Well, I'm back here. Thank you. Good. I like it too. Yeah.
Is there a too early to do that exercise?
A too early?
Right.
You mean we're talking
about rank
student
Yeah,
progression?
rank-wise. Because at some point, you have to have a minimum number of
I want people to be comfortable falling first. I want them to get comfortable falling first, and then I want to invite them into getting comfortable in these weird positions. So, if you take somebody who's not comfortable falling yet and try to go directly to go with this, then their own internal panic will overwhelm them so fast, it'll be hard to get there. They need to know they can at least get here without peril in a very consistent way, and then you can afford to do the off balance with it.
I really like the objective of uke-ship as being a mission in and of itself.
It's huge. I think it's much bigger than we've imagined, really, because we've always treated it like they're there to make Tori look good, or they're there to teach you how to fall so you can survive when you fall off the ladder, which is all cool, you know.
But that's really where your survival mechanism is learned.
Precisely. I think it's far more survivability in the real hairy stuff, you know. Read a great book by, what's that guy's name, Meditations on Violence?
Oh, Rory Miller.
Rory Miller. Read Rory Miller's book. He doesn't have many nice things to say about Aikido. There's not a lot of great Aikido around. Is the same thing about that. But you have to train under the duress of the idea of real aggression happening to you, not like with actual blows and actual problems. You don't have to force yourself into those continuums constantly if you have a world where you do falling and you do reel off balance and you do recovery of off balance. You will immunize yourself against a lot of it right there. But it'd also be good to put yourself under weird conditions in the same scenario. So we're going to take that same scenario we just did with passing off balance and change partners again a little bit. And then we're going to put a different condition on it, like you only have one arm because he stabbed you in the other arm and you're bleeding out, right? Or you got to close your eyes. We all got to be John. We all got to have our eyes closed.
Vision is overrated.
Vision is overrated. You got a cut on your forehead. Blood is going down your forehead into your eyes, and you can't see. And no matter how much you wipe it off, you still can't see because it's bleeding too fast to get it out of your eye. And you still have to operate under those conditions. So you take it and alter the parameters, the one-arm parameter, or I'm sitting down and they're standing up when you start, or a lot of parameters, right? Or closed condition. We'll take the blue mats and we'll create an alleyway so that you're between two walls and everything's real tight. You don't have room to operate when the duress begins, right? And they're all very, very good to work with because they elicit out of you the kind of responses that you're going to need to get comfortable with. Again, because you don't need the surprise and the adrenaline to go spiking above 145 beats a minute for your heart rate. Cool? Because again, then you can't even reload the weapon. Your fingers go numb, your eyesight shrinks down to a numb, and you're kind of an idiot. We tend to do the same dumb thing over and over again. People who get under that much adrenaline tend to just do the same mechanical action again and again and again. Sometimes they start thinking about random ass stuff. Like, what was the flavor of my birthday cake? I can't remember. And they start thinking about things that have complete non sequitur to what's going on in the middle of the mess. So the brain will get really weird when the adrenaline gets too high. And you have to train against that sort of adrenaline poisoning as much as you can. Cool? Cool. So let's try that. Let's make it even worse on yourself. The guy who's getting got, let's just have one arm behind your back. Okay? Or if you don't like that, let's just do the pretend blindfold. You got your eyes closed. Cool? And just live with that for a little while as they do the off-balance problem for you again. Okay?